Hey, Catherine Hines, this is your car. It's Sophia. And we got her here in the garage. And I've been working out here for a few days now, on and off. And just last night I got the motor out, right there. And I wish you were here because there's so many cool things I want to show you. But I just wanted to show you this especially. This car is in such good condition. Like, there's tons of green paint everywhere still, and there's very little rust anywhere inside the engine compartment, which is great. You know, cars that are this old normally, especially around here, they're like full of rust and all that stuff. So she's in really good condition, and she's gonna last for a really long time. So I'm really excited about that. And I just wish you were here because I want to show you all these cool things. Like, these are axle shafts, and these are what drive the rear wheel, or the front wheels. And they go into the transmission, which normally sits here, attached to the engine. And these are a couple cables. This one is this one's the clutch cable. No, that one's the clutch cable. When you press the pedal, this cable disconnects the clutch from the flywheel, so that you can shift. And this is the cable that actually does the shifting, which is kind of neat. And I've had so much fun out here working on this car. And she's a sweetheart, and everything's gone really well. And I haven't broken anything. And it's been so nice. And it's actually a super tiny transmission. Like, the whole thing is right here. That's where all the gears are. And the cables I just showed you, when you push the clutch in, that disengages the clutch from the flywheel, so you can shift. And then this is the cable. The shift cable actually pulls this back and forth, and that's how it shifts gears. And that's pretty cool. And there's actually there are a lot of cables on this engine because it's all mechanical, and so there's very little electrics, which is really nice. Everything's really simple. These two cables up here, we got two here. This one's a throttle cable. And that one is the cruise control cable. And those, they kind of wrap around this little thing right here, and they connect on. And this is what happens when you push the accelerator pedal. It moves that, or it pulls that cable, and it opens up this throttle body. You can see the butterfly valve in there. And when that opens, it lets more air in, and so subsequently more fuel goes in. And so it makes the engine run quicker. And this here, this is where the other cable connects. That's the cruise control cable. So when you have the throttle open and you set the cruise control, it can actually keep this throttle open without having the accelerator pedal pushed down, which is really cool. They're two independent things, and that's pretty neat. And that's where the belts wrap around. That's where the power comes from. There's a big crankshaft in there. And that turns this pulley, which turns all the belts and makes all the accessories work. And man, I wish you were here. This would be so much fun to show you all this stuff. But after I get the engine apart, there'll be a lot more to show. And there's a lot of fun things in there to explain. And I'm really looking forward to making a couple more videos so you can see all these fun little things about Sophia and how she works and all that stuff. So I'm having so much fun, and everything's gone really well so far. And I can't wait to just get into that and make her work so much better. It's going to be great. So that's all I've done, and I hope you're doing really good. So more videos to come. So I've got the engine up at eye level now, which is really cool, because normally you're just kind of leaning over the side of the car into the engine bay. So this is really cool. And you get to like walk all around it. You don't have to reach or anything. It's so nice. But I just unhooked the whole wiring harness. This is how all the sensors talk back to the computer, so the engine can adjust how much fuel and air it's using. You have like a crank position sensor, cam position sensor. There's just tons of stuff all over the engine. And you know, these provide spark to the motor, and temperature sensors, and all kinds of crazy stuff. I've got them all labeled because I don't want to get them mixed up. But I undid this whole thing because I have to take the transmission off next, and there was a couple tied in there. So I'm just gonna see if I can get all this off here in one swoop. And then I can set the whole thing aside and move on to something that's a bit more exciting, which is what I'm really looking forward to. And there it is. Wow, that's a crazy mess right there. I'm glad I labeled everything. So we'll just set that aside for now, and I'll clean that up later. But now I can actually see what's going on a little better, because that covered a whole bunch of the engine. So that's really cool. And you can see the fuel rail pretty easy now. Let me get a light here. Oh my goodness, look at all these tools. This is where that connection right there, that's where fuel comes in from the fuel tank. It runs all the way up to here, and then it goes along this passage. There's a little fuel filter here, and then oh, let's see, where are the injectors? Oh yeah, right under there at the bottom. Yeah, see there's see this here, that's where the fuel goes into the motor, into each cylinder. There's 4 of them, and they each have a sensor on it, so the computer can keep track of what's going on in there. And depending on what the sensors say, it can adjust, you know, how much fuel needs to go in or how much air needs to be added to the fuel. It's all very clever, and that's how cars like this can get such good mileage, because everything's constantly monitored and adjusted in real time so that you can get the best performance at any given moment. So it's the opposite of a big V8, which really doesn't do anything except eat gas and make lots of cool growling thundery sounds. So anyway, that's the wiring harness off, and now I'm going to try to undo all these bolts all the way around the what is that? I don't know, that all the way around the transmission, and hopefully I can pull that off without too much trouble. And once I get that done, I can actually set the engine up on this, so I can actually, you know, after that unlocks, of course, and then I can actually roll the engine in any direction, so I can work on all the pieces, because after I get all the top stuff off, this pan will have to come out, and there's a lot of big pieces on the inside. I can't wait to get down to that so I can show you all the cool things that happen inside the engine, because everything just makes so much more sense when you can see it. So I'm gonna work on doing some of this top end stuff here the rest of the day, and if I see anything cool, I'll just make another cool video. Covert out. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this real quick. I'm trying to take the starter off here, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a bolt here and a bolt here, and I just can't turn this one on my own strength, because this engine's kind of twisting around, and so I just wanted to show you a quick trick to get a little mechanical advantage here. It's a simple machine. It's called a lever, and we just add a little more length to the wrench here, and it twists pretty easy now, just like that. So another one down, and move on to the next one. I wanted to show you this too, because this is kind of neat. And I got the other bolt out of the starter. I'll grab a light here. And so this is the starter here. And this is the positive lead, and that's a ground. So when you turn the key in the car, this gets powered. This little piece is the solenoid here, and that powers the starter. That's the starter right here. And so on the end of the starter, there's some gears. You can see right here. So when you turn the key, that spins. That gear right there spins, and it's connected to these. I hope you can see that. Hang on a second. Let me take this off here. There's some gears in here, and those gears are around the outside of what's called the flywheel. And so when those teeth meet and you turn the key, that little tiny gear on the end of the starter actually turns this inside of the engine. So that's how the engine starts turning, and then all the electronics can actually keep it running from there. But that is how your car gets started.